right, so then he got chosen to be king, and he was a boy. Remember that, all right? Out of all the big ones, he was the one. He was just a boy. Keep that in mind. Now, as we go back, we find out one of the most known stories that I believe, one of my favorite stories in the Bible, David and Goliath. You could go to the next verse, please. All right, in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 6. For 40 days the Philistine came forward every morning and evening and took their stand. All right, so David's people are called the Israelites. Now the Philistines, which are the other type of people, were going against the Israelites. So now, the Israelites wanted to attack, the Philistines wanted to attack the Israelites. Then one day before, Jesse tells David, I want you to go send your brothers, I want you to go send some food to your brothers who are helping. All right, so Jesse tells David, you know what, I want you to go. So he goes and he gives food to them. So as he is going, he finds out what is going on. He didn't know, but once he goes, he's like, wait a minute, who's that guy right there, the Philistine? Why are they attacking us? So he finds out every single thing. Then he finds out that this huge man, and his name is Goliath. Estamos hablando de aquí una historia llamada David y Goliat. Ahora ve un hombre que está bien alto. I am about 5'1", 5'2". He was 9 feet. Imagine that. So most of y'all like that. No, I'm kidding. All right. So ahora mi altura es 5 pies, 5'1" y por ahí. Pero luego había un hombre llamado Goliat. Y Goliat era de los filisteos. Y Goliat era de 9 pies. So now as David finds out what is going on, why is this happening, he's like, you know what? I could fight him. God's with me. I want to go. Ahora, entonces cuando ve David todo lo que está pasando, él decide, ¿sabes qué? Yo quiero ir, yo puedo. Now, so then David goes up to the leader. Stay with me. David goes up to the leader, Saul, and he tells, you know what? I could do it. So as David asks Saul that he wants to fight, this is what Saul says. Saul replied, you are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a boy. You are only a boy, and he has been fighting since his youth. All right, this is what's going on now. Now David goes up to Saul, and he's like, you know what, Saul? I could do it. I want to do it. But then Saul tells me, you're only a boy. What are you going to do? So then David starts telling Saul, estamos hablando aquí cuando David fue hacia Saúl. Y le dice a Saúl, ¿sabes qué? Saúl era el líder. Le dijo, Saúl, yo puedo ir. Yo quiero ir contra Goliat. So then they started continuing and talking, and Saul agreed. So here goes, I'm going to fast forward here. David gets 5 rocks. So he gets 5 rocks, and 5 rocas, David. And he goes up to Goliath. Él va hacia Goliat. He swings one rock, la hace así, and it goes in his forehead, and he dies. Goliath dies. Ahora, Goliat se fue para abajo. Now, David was a man who believed that he was more than what this world said he was. David era un hombre que creyó que él era mucho más que este mundo le había dicho. When they told him, you're just a boy, you're not going to amount to anything, he did it. Because he believed that he was more than. Tonight you might have dreamed something, you might have a calling, but when you tell others about the great stuff you want to do in this world, they put you down. See? Hoy a lo mejor tú estás en un sueño, una pasión, un llamado especial de Dios. Y cuando tú le dices a personas las cosas grandes que quieres hacer para Él, te hacen para abajo. Tonight, I'm here to tell you that you are more than a statistic. You are more than a number. You are more than a pattern. You are more than a Hispanic. You are more than a regular person that comes here. David was just a boy. David nada más era un hombre. But David saw what was going on. David nada más era un niño pequeño. Pero cuando él vio lo que estaba pasando, he woke up and went. See? Today God is knocking at your door. Hoy Dios está diciendo to wake up, que te despiertes, to go and fight Goliath. David was just a shepherd boy. David nada más era un pastor de ovejas. And he was used tremendously by God. You might have been a person who comes from Laredo, but God wants to use you in your families. God wants to use you in your school. A lo mejor tú eres una persona de Laredo, pero Dios te quiere usar en tus familias, en tu escuela, con tus amigos. But you have to believe, listen, you have to believe that you are more than what this world says you are. Tú tienes que creer en tu corazón que tú eres mucho más de que lo que dice el mundo. God is telling you that dream, that calling, that passion, don't forget. Don't forget about it. Oh, Dios está diciendo que ese sueño, esa pasión, ese llamado, que no te olvides. Wake up and go fight Goliath with his help. You have to believe that you are more than. Nothing is impossible for God. So that dream, that calling that God has placed inside of you, when you tell others, you know what, I want to do it, they try to put you down. But you just have to remember tonight that you are way more than that. See, most of us want to do something in life. Most of us have great plans. But sometimes we get down. But today, I want you to stand up. You might have been told other stuff. When you tell people, you might have been told, whatever, you can never do that. But today, God is telling you to grab a hold of his hand, and he is telling you, he is reminding you, he's telling you, I love you. Don't forget about it. See, God has placed a special dream, that special passion. See, you are more than what this world says you are. You might not get anything, but I want you to get this. You are way more than what this world says you are. See, David was just a boy. David was a person who was he was just a boy. But he was used tremendously by God. God is telling you, you might be a Hispanic. You might just be a person from Pat. You might just be a person, whatever. But God is telling you, I want to use you. But you just have to remember that you are way more than what this world says you are.